Hello, JAZZLORDs and everybody. Welcome to another episode of Lewd, where we're going to be discussing the off-maligned alto clarinet today. I'm going to preface everything by saying that this instrument has definitely fallen out of favor in recent times and never really had a large amount of repertoire written for it. So, it's going to be kind of a shorter video actually, because there's not a whole lot to talk about that hasn't been mentioned as far as mechanics go from the bass clarinet video. As you'll see, there's going to be quite a few of the same things. However, I'm going to talk about more why you might want to consider finding one of these guys for yourself, because not having many proponents of this instrument around could open up some opportunities for you to have a new voice. Now, first thing you'll notice is this is nasally as hell. One of the reasons why people don't like it is because it doesn't have that kind of, how can I say this without sounding like pretentious, but yet sort of sounding like I know what I'm doing. Remember, low effort. Low effort woodwind doubling is the name of the game here. It's a very nasally sound compared to the upper registers in the bass clarinet or your standard B-flat soprano. This particular clarinet is funny. This is actually two different no-blade clarinets put together. Long story, I had one no-blade, top joint, the no-blade from the top joint, and a long time ago, it got knocked off the stand, and on the bottom joint, the thumb rest cracked off, and it took some of the wood. Now, there was no hole, it was just like a little chunk of wood was gone, so I played it like that for a while. Then I went to eBay and found a junk no-blade that had an intact bottom joint. So I bought it. And, so basically this is the bottom joint from another no-blade clarinet. Believe it or not, around the same vintage. So all the key work was compatible. I just took the, everything was compatible. I needed one screw for the thumb rest, which I still had in my old clarinet. So, yeah, we're getting pretty good, but this alto clarinet's funny because it's nasally, and yet it almost seems like, at least the way I'm playing the thing, the upper register has a built-in growl to it. It's not me really doing anything, especially if you get to the lower clarion. It has a sonority to it, unlike any of the other clarinets, and it stuck out to me because I remember when I was back in college at Berkeley, I was playing clarinet choir. They had every instrument except for the alto clarinet, and they had a really nice Selmer. But so I played that, and it was my first time experiencing we're starting to get into the lower clarinets here. So I'm starting to hear, like, all the low clarinets, once you start getting into the lower registers, I guess, probably below a B-flat clarinet. Once you start getting down to like a B-flat clarinet's lowest, G, F sharp, F, E, it's just it's a wonderful color. And that really kind of spoke to me. And so this clarinet, like the alto, is kind of a combination of both of those tonalities, but yet doesn't sound like either one, because like I said, it's nasally, but it has a certain charm to it. It's definitely a unique voice for sure. But if you want to get started with this guy, they're really easy to find. You find a Bundy on eBay for under 200 bucks. It's probably in decent shape because it probably hasn't been touched in forever. You know, maybe you might have to replace a pad or something. As far as mouthpieces go, I'm literally using the one that came with mine. It's old, so there was no logo on it, but from what I can gather, it's got a square chamber inside. I'm pretty sure it's an old S80, which, you know, those are great mouthpieces. Playing with an alto reed, because why would you ever buy alto clarinet reeds? It's a waste of money. The alto sax reed, you can see, fits perfectly fine. It's not too long. I'm using an alto sax ligature with it because that's what I got, and it works fine. It's sealing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is probably like a HS Star or something, Selmer alto clarinet piece, and I am playing like a 3 Java on it because those are some of the extra reeds that I had. Intonation's pretty good, even with 2 different joints. You get it reasonable when you're playing, especially when you're recording section parts. Do keep a tuner on the stand, even if you do have a good sense of pitch, especially if you're the lowest voice and you're recording with no other guide around you. Always have that tuner on the stand to go and work through your parts. Altissimo is very similar to the bass clarinet, actually, where you have a vent key here. You have a, on your EB key, you have a vent hole, which when you're playing in the Shalmo throat and Shalmo and the clarion registers, you keep that hole covered. When you go to altissimo, starting from C sharp, and we don't have to get into a bunch of fingerings because it's the exact same thing as a bass clarinet video, which you can watch over wherever. It's gonna pop up. But yeah. I mean, it's I like having this system. It does make playing up in the altissimo pretty fluid, and as long as you have a decent sense of pitch, you're gonna play this in tune just fine. But as far as mouthpieces go, Van Doren's fine. I don't know. I think they only make 1 or 2 different models. Selmer only has a couple of different models. There's really not a whole lot you need to set up, but there is a problem with this instrument, and it has been gone over in a few other videos online, where regardless of whether it's a $12,000 Selmer or if it's 2 Nobles kind of Frankenstein together, it is not a comfortable instrument to play, like for the stretch. So the way everything's laid out here, this is my hand position on the right hand. You see how my hand's kind of angled upward from where the thumb rest is, and to get a better position, I actually am more comfortable playing with my thumb on top of the thumb hook. And it takes a lot of the stress out, but then I have to stretch my pinkies out. I really have to stretch them out to play my lowest notes here. And we're keyed down to a low E flat on this guy, and most do. You'll sometimes see older metal ones. I have a buddy of mine back in California has an old metal. I can't remember who made it off the top of my head, but he has a metal one. I think that's keyed to E. Some of the oldest ones will be. More modern ones starting like the 60s maybe? 50s, 60s. I think this one might even be a little older than that. But they're usually key to low E flat. And I mean, again, it's just kind of expands your range a little bit and gives you more options to play. If you're a jazz musician, you'll probably get more use out of this, because don't ever play an alto clarinet because you think it's gonna help you get work. No one will ever call you to play this. It's just going to be you. Pick an instrument like this because you like the way it sounds. You think it sounds kind of funky, and pretty much that's the only reason you would like this guy. It is a unique voice. If you're a jazz musician looking for a different sound, you consider this. They're cheap enough online. You buy an alto clarinet right now for a couple $100. Outfit it with a Van Doren or something for another couple $100. For $400, you have a reasonably useful instrument. Because like I said, they're all, even the brand new Selmer, they haven't updated the actual key layout in decades. So it is quite, unless you have very, I don't know if big hands would help you out here. It's just a very weird stretch for your hand. They shouldn't have made the register key. Usually for a saxophone and clarinet, it's nice to have your thumb kind of by the second finger. I would say it does lend to a more relaxed hand position. But again, this guy, it's just you would get one of these because you like the sound, or you're a completionist. I had this guy forever, but you know, you're a completionist with your clarinet family. You know, I don't collect comic books or manga or anything like that. So my collections are instruments, but keyed in E flat like an alto sax. So it could be interesting for you to switch over from alto to this. You know, at least you won't have to. You won't really have to alter your way of thinking, especially if you're used to sight transposing with alto sax. It's about the same. And don't forget, on clarinet, don't think of it. You'll start screwing yourself up, because this right here, 1, 2, 3 down on a saxophone would be a G. This is C on a clarinet because we're pitched in 12s. So it's just a few little things to keep in mind, and yeah, could be a fun double, could be a fun introduction to clarinet, which will actually go over the soprano, all the sopranos, the B flats and the E flat. And I have a couple of fun little things to show you in that video that's going to be coming up next. But this one, more of a short thing, not a whole lot to talk about. It is a fun voice if you're looking for something different. But don't buy it and expect to be gigging, 300 days a year on alto clarinet. This is more for fun. Anyway, short video, but hope you enjoyed what little we did today. All right, everybody, love you. Bye.